The following episode may contain inappropriate material. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Mattalk. Today we're going to teach you guys how to pick locks. But first, John, how are you doing this fine Christmassy October?
Well, I wish I could learn how to pick locks. I think that skill would come in handy. But I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. You know, just looking forward to letting the folks know about another fantastic episode of Matlock. So how are things with you?
Things have not been better. Things have been pretty good, actually. Done with con season for the year, I think, unless I decide to go to some as a fan and not as a participant. But the trip to Indiana was amazing.
Did you get to talk to anybody cool out in Indiana where you were there?
We did. We met and talked to Ryder Strong, who was in Boy Meets World as Sean Hunter. My daughter and I, we got to meet him. Super nice guy. Super nice. We also met Murr from Impractical Jokers. And that dude is as awesome as I thought he would be. Mm-hmm. Very personable.
And of course, we're talking about your trip to the Indiana Comic Con. I think we kind of buried the lead there a little bit, but that was what, last weekend, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I spent a small fortune.
Well, I mean, you think of it this way. You're investing in the local economy.
Yeah, and the memories from my child.
There you go. There you have it. All right, so are you ready to talk about this fantastic episode of Matlock?
That's right, John. Feed your children some Raisin Bran. Let's learn to pick locks.
All right. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into our opening statements. The episode that we're going to take a look at is called The Gift. It originally aired on December 22nd, 1987, and it definitely has a Christmas holiday feel to it, as that's basically what the whole premise of this episode is about. And Jason, we have possibly the biggest guest star that we've ever had on an episode of Matlock. And in fact, he's so big, we don't even need to talk about his accolades. We don't even need to mention him. Bryan Cranston is in this episode as the character Brian Emerson. Were you pleasantly surprised to see Walter White on your television screen while watching this episode?
To be completely honest with you, man, I did not realize that was Bryan Cranston.
Oh, he looks young, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, young, full head of hair, kind of, you know, full of vigor, if you will. But yeah, Bryan Cranston showing up here. Albeit, let's be honest, Jason, he doesn't have a lot of screen time.
That is Bryan Cranston. I did not recognize him at all. Oh, I see the little thing that he has on his cheek now. All right, I see it now.
I'm worried about you. If you watched the episode and you did not recognize that was Bryan Cranston.
Outside of Breaking Bad, the only thing I've really seen him in is the lawyer
Malcolm
show on HBO, and he was a voice on Power Rangers.
You never watched Malcolm in the Middle? Oh my goodness.
No. I guess they can't see head nods out there in audio land.
No, they cannot see a head nod.
It
No,
should probably be verbal.
Right, man. Well, how long ago did you watch this episode?
2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, right before I went and saw Ron's Gone Wild. Ron's Gone Wrong. Ron's Gone Wild is a completely different movie, everybody.
Yes, you went and saw the family-friendly animated movie, Ron's Gone Wrong. Not maybe the more Cinemax-oriented film that you just came up with, Ron's Gone Wild. That's going to be the hashtag for this episode, by the way.
I do want to.
Wild.
Speaking of Bryan Cranston, everybody that's watching us, you guys should check out the detective drama / lawyer drama, Your Honor, on HBO with Bryan Cranston. It's a fantastic show if you like this kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, there is another individual that we need to highlight real quick, and the actor's name is Wolf Muser. He plays the role of Peter Bono, and he was Dr. Seifert on Bold and the Beautiful. He had a recurring role as Ramon Veloso on Alias, and a bunch of other credits, including playing Adolf Hitler in The Man in the High Castle, which I believe, is that an Amazon show or is that a Hulu show?
It is an Amazon show, and I've only seen the first season, but it's a fantastic show.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
I have not.
It's
Seen it.
What if Germany and China had won World War II?
You mean, wait. You said China. You mean Japan.
Japan, sorry. And the United States is divided, where Germany has control of half and Japan has control of half.
Okay.
It's fascinating.
I'm sure there's been lots of actors that have had that role, but I'm curious, and I would like to know, like, how do you get into the character of Adolf Hitler? Like, you know what I mean? Like, as in terms of like a study of acting, like, how do you get your mindset to that level of insanity? You know what I mean?
You know what, John? You've just motivated me to try to reach out to a few people that have played Hitler. Maybe somebody from Inglourious Bastards or the guy from The Man in the High Castle, because that's a good question.
That is a very good question. Like, you know what I mean? Because you don't want to be like over the top and foppish, you know, like in Jojo Rabbit. Like, you don't want to go that route, but yet you gotta have like an unhinged type of. You gotta have the right dose of crazy, I think, in that role, that it doesn't become a parody. And I just wonder how you get your mindset that way. I don't know. Anyways, sorry, folks, we deviate a little bit, but Wolf Mauser is going to be playing the role of Peter Bono. So those are the only two main event, so to speak, guest stars that we have. So, Jason, I have to ask, are you ready to give an opinion? Your opinion, and only your opinion, so help you?
I do.
Then it's time to testify.
Woohoo!
Oh, I like the woohoo. Thank you. The plot of this episode is that Ben defends a man accused of killing his ex-wife during the Christmas season. We go to an opening scene of a very fancy Christmas party with lots of Santa Clauses. And Jason, you're a father. I'm sure that you've definitely played the role of Santa Claus maybe once or twice in your children's lifetime. But do you think that if you had multiple Santa Clauses show up at your house for a party, that would confuse the heck out of your kids as to which one is the real Santa Claus?
I've never been Santa myself. I've never been around like 6 people decorated as Santa.
Yeah.
And it seemed really weird that like every dude at the party was decorated or dressed as Santa Claus.
Yeah, it was weird. It was very weird. Hey, do the kids still believe?
No.
Okay. All right, just was checking.
14 and 12 and almost 16.
Okay, I was just checking. I didn't know. Believe it or not, I one time made a faux pas of mentioning something about believing in front of a 13-year-old, and they apparently did not know. And I was like, what the shack are you talking about? This is 2017. You are 13 years old, almost 14, and okay.
I have a feeling you're easy to troll, though. Are you sure the kid wasn't trolling you?
Maybe. Maybe. And wait a minute, time out. If that's just because that troll comment, is that just because of the previous interview I did this afternoon that I kind of got all twisted in the wind? Is that what that's all about?
Yeah.
All right. Anywho, here's the other weird thing, that the mom and the daughter, they're dressed alike too. That's weird. That I found to be a little bit unsettling. I don't know. Am I off my rocker, Jason, on that?
That's a lot more common, especially in the 80s.
Was it? Okay.
Than people going to parties as Santa Claus.
All right. Well, Wendy, who is the little girl, she tells all the Santa Clauses, including one that is Peter Bono, that her dad is coming for a visit. And what do you know, Jason? More Santas arrive. I'm like, how many Santas do you need for this party? There's a scene with more getting out of a car. I'm like, come on.
John's burying the lead. The truth is, Oprah was there, and she's like, "You get a Santa Claus, and you get a Santa Claus, and you get a Santa Claus.
Everybody gets a Santa Claus
for everyone! Yay!"
Yay! Okay. Brian Emerson shows up to give a gift and to see and spend some time with Wendy. Guess what he's dressed as? A circus clown. No, I'm kidding. He's dressed as Santa Claus as well. I really thought this was a really good and well-acted, heartfelt scene, Jason. What do you think?
I did too. And the dad seemed nice. I've never understood divorced couples that separate and have to involve the kids if there's no danger.
Yeah.
Like, why did he have a restraining order against the child?
Exactly, because his ex-wife Maggie barges in and yells at him. He's violating a restraining order. He's supposed to have visitation next week. Maggie clearly is a witch in this particular scenario. She's yelling and I agree with you. It didn't seem like that he was a violent dude, or it just seemed odd to bring up this restraining order.
Yeah.
So Maggie decides to leave. She goes into the other room and she dials 911. And then, guess what? A Santa Claus kills her.
Yep. Dun, dun, dun.
A little bit of Silent Night, Deadly Night for you, if you catch that reference, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched that movie?
Yeah, I think I have it on Blu-ray.
Folks, he's actually looking at his DVD case going, yeah, I think I have that one. He's not even sure. That's how many DVDs he has.
Everybody told me that Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 was the better movie, and I watched the first one, and then I sat down to watch the second one. And the second one, except for the last 15 to 20 minutes, is just the first movie recapped for an hour. So I wish they had just told me to watch 2, because I'd pretty much be watching the first movie.
All right, well, Brian Emerson enters the room and he finds that Maggie is dead. And guess what? In comes some other Santa Clauses, and they find him standing over top of the body. At least he didn't grab the murder weapon.
He should have just disappeared into a sea of Santa Clauses.
Exactly. You would think he would have went, oh, crap, turn around, leave, just blend in with the rest of the crowd. Nobody would know. At our next scene, Ben is chatting with Brian at the police station. Brian tells all about his marriage. Maggie was cheating on him. She divorced him. Ben takes the case because why, Jason? It's Christmas time.
Yeah, it's Christmas. Ben he's a great guy.
Mm-hmm. Goes against our whole theory that sometimes it's all about the cream. Cash rules everything around Matlock.
Nice.
Ah, yeah.
Dad joke of the week, everybody. Fantastic one, too.
All right, we go to a courtroom scene where Brian is getting bail, and Ben is outraged that it is $250,000. Ben calls out the judge on the bail, and they argue about some past ruling. So they have beef from a previous case, and that's going to be one of the subplots to this episode. And so then we go to this scene that I felt was another great scene, Jason. You could tell me whether you agree or disagree. Ben has to break the news to Wendy that Dad is not coming home. What do you think?
It was sad. Why isn't Dad coming home? Well, your mom's no longer with us. It's poor child. It's 2 strikes in a week for this child. But I want to talk about this child because she ends up staying with Ben. Mm-hmm. And, in the 80s, this was probably more acceptable. But when she was laying in bed with Ben while he's reading to her, I'm like, there's no way anybody would ever let this happen in 2021.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. I did laugh that the only bedtime story material he had was some camping catalog. That was pretty funny. I was like, I like how they have a waterproof raincoat. Comes in 4 colors, blue, brown, green, red. And then she was sound asleep. Yeah, it was wholesome. But nowadays, I agree with you. I think some people would take issue with that and make some types of allegations, and it's ridiculous.
I do appreciate the fact that it reminded me of going and staying with my grandfather in the 80s because, you lay in bed, get your bedtime story, and then the next morning you would have really crappy cereal.
Which, indeed, that's our next scene, is that Wendy just tries to make Ben breakfast, but she doesn't do a very good job with it. Instead, she gets fed some cereal. Wendy wants her dad to come and get her, and Ben has to fill in Wendy on what's happening with her dad, which I also thought that was kind of a touching scene because, again, this is some heavy-duty stuff that this poor kid's got to deal with.
And he said he once had a daughter.
Yes, he does. Daughter singular, not plural, which, again, leads into the giant controversy of Leanne and Charlene, but we'll tackle that on another episode of Matt Talk.
Yes, but I thought at first the cereal was Total. You remember Total cereal? Which was just the frickin' flakes. Like, not even corn flakes. You were just like these little brown flakes.
Yes.
Exactly Raisin Bran without the raisins. But
Yes.
it was Raisin Bran. There was raisins in the cereal, so at least she got some flavor with her cereal. But I can totally relate, man, because I remember going to my grandparents' house, and my mom's side, more the great-great-grandparents had the crappy cereal, because my, like, just regular grandparents, they had, sugary cereals because they liked it as well. But the great-great-grandparents had this horrible, grainy cereal that was awful. Awful. And the freaking crunchy granola bars, not even the soft ones. Ugh.
You know what? I don't think grandparents would be, especially Ben Matlock. Let's talk. He's of grandparent age.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's not gonna have Fruity Pebbles in the cupboard. That ain't happening.
I would have been disappointed if he had Fruity Pebbles. It had to be Total or Raisin Bran for the 80s.
Had to have been. Well, here's a controversial incident. Would you leave Wendy with Cassie?
Why not? What else is he gonna do?
Wait a minute. I think of the two. I think the one that would be more capable and competent would be Michelle Thomas, not Carrie.
Yeah, but she's got to work with Ben on the case.
Well, here, give Carrie.
But she eventually gets an upgrade in babysitters.
She does. I was gonna say, give Cassie an opportunity to be second with Ben, because I don't know, just from the past experiences that we've had with Cassie, I don't know if I'd leave a child in her care. But one person I would leave a child with is, of course, our main man, Tyler Hudson. And Jason, pray tell, what education is he giving Wendy?
How to technically lock the cabin, because she locks the cabinet first, and then how to pick the lock and get back into the cabinet because they don't have a key for it.
I love this scene because I'm like, I don't know if that's a skill you want to be teaching a child, but okay. Somehow I believe Tyler Hudson would certainly do that. I enjoyed that. That was a fantastic scene. We find out that Maggie got some threatening voicemails or phone calls, and Ben asked Wendy if she had told Peter that Dad was coming to the party. She said she did, and she said that Dr. Lord was there, as well as another mystery Santa that we don't know who that is. Ben heads on over to Peter and Maggie's home, and there's some small little dog that loves to attack Ben. That shot where they would show the dog grabbing onto his pant leg, that was a stunt double, right? It had to be. It's
probably the same shot in each one.
Actually, funny you mentioned that. I actually wrote that down because I think they did recycle that take later on in the episode. So Peter gives Ben a list of guests, and Ben kind of asks him about these phone calls. And the other little odd thing about Mr. Bono is that both he and Maggie are involved in opening a restaurant. Tyler suspects that the mystery Santa could have been a crasher, and then as we see as Tyler and Ben are in the driveway, here comes the little dog to chase Ben and Tyler into their car. The dog is getting some laughs. I got to give it credit. That did make me chuckle. What'd you think?
That was funny, especially since it's a little ankle biter.
Yes. Our next scene is a fantastic scene as well. I want your 2 cents on this one. Dr. Lord is being interviewed by Michelle, and he's just so complimentary to her, wanting to know, who did your work?
Yeah, he did. like, are you offended by that statement or are you complimented by that statement? Because in one sense, he's trying to tell her that she looks good. But in the other sense, you're also telling her that she looks a little fake. Right?
I know. No,
That's
I
how
agree.
I take it.
I totally agree with you. Like, I don't know how you take that. Is that an insult or is that a comment? You know what? Ladies, if you are listening, how about letting us know? What do you think? And you can do that a couple different ways. First of all, Jason, hit him with the email.
BenMattalk @gmail.com. That has been Mattalk, not Matlock, @gmail.com.
Or you can leave us a message over on Facebook @Mattalk Podcast or on Twitter @Mattalk_podcast. And let us know, ladies, would you consider that to be a compliment or an insult?
I'm saying insult.
I'm saying if I have to pick between the two, I'm going insult as well. Yes. Well, it's revealed through the research of one, Michelle, that Maggie and Dr. Lord kind of had a thing going on. So they were more than just business partners. They were, hooking up, if you will. And so Maggie had threatened to leave the practice, and Michelle ponders if that would be enough motivation for murder.
Dun, dun, dun.
So Tyler goes to this art gallery, and he confronts Philip about being at the party. Now, Philip, he gives Tyler the slip by saying, I got to go lock the back door, which was a giant red flag, Tyler. He was going to bolt. Why did you just stand there and let him do it? Why, Tyler? Why?
And then why'd you follow after him?
Right. Because he's got the lead on you, and what does he do? He KOs him with something. I actually rewound it. I have no idea what he hit him with. He hit him with something, but I don't know if it was a rolled up painting or whatnot.
I don't know.
Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint. He's not going to stand for that, Tyler Hudson. No. We'll see in a little bit here exactly how Tyler gets his revenge. But we got to go back to the courtroom where Julie and Ben, they gossip about the judge. And Julie has a brilliant idea, Jason. Why don't you invite him to the Christmas party? And Ben's not so sure about that. Would you invite the judge to the Christmas party? Or any coworker that maybe is a little bit miffed at you? Would you invite them to your Christmas party?
Sure. I'd probably wait till the case was done just so he doesn't think I'm bribing him.
Yeah, I thought that too, because I was like, yeah, if he catches on, couldn't he be like, hey, this is a conflict of interest right now? I don't know. Yeah, I thought that too. All right. Do you need a little action in this episode, Jason?
Who doesn't?
That's right. Well, let's ramp up the action a little bit. In our very next scene, we have Tyler Hudson scouting out a house. Does he knock on the door? No. Does he ring the doorbell? Nope. He does what every great 80s action star does. He jumps through the window, crashing into the living room.
Yep.
This was awesome. By the way, he's crashing into Philip's home. Philip tries to run away. He tackles him. And then we get this very kind of convoluted explanation that Philip is the man who left the threatening phone call because Maggie had operated on Philip's ex-wife with some plastic surgery, and he butchered her. And the weird part of it was, I didn't understand. They showed the painting, and later when we meet her, I'm like, time out. Was that painting before or after, the quote, butchering, end quote?
Yeah.
Ben does invite the judge to his party, and judge says, no, thank you. I got to shoot you down. I got stuff to do. And so then we go back to Philip's home where he admits to being at the party and he wanted revenge, but he claims someone killed Maggie before he could. All right. With that, we see that Tyler is in Dr. Lord's office. And man, Tyler's so smooth, man. He shakes down some information from Dr. Lord about Philip's ex-wife. And by the way, he theorizes that Maggie was going to dump Dr. Lord anyways, and that's why he has something to do with her murder. And, of course, Dr. Lord gets a little nervous. He gives up the info.
Yeah, he does.
So then we go to a scene where Tyler shows up, knocks on the door this time. I don't know if the window got fixed or not, but knocks on the door this time. Philip answers, and lo and behold, who is with Tyler? His ex-wife. Okay, I thought this was hokey as heck. What did you think?
Yeah, it's cheesy. I don't even know what to think of this scene.
Because it was so like when he said she was butchered, she's not butchered. She's a gorgeous woman, and so like I didn't understand. Like, was she homely before, and now she's gorgeous? But in the eyes of Philip, she's butch. I didn't understand it. And then they did this whole thing. I thought you wouldn't love me because I'm pretty, and I didn't think you'd love me because I'm ugly and a fat slob. And I'm like, this is stupid. What is this in here for?
Well, she got pretty. So in his eyes, she was ruined to him because now that she looked good, she would no longer want to be with him.
She could go get any of the gentleman callers she wanted.
Yeah.
I just felt this was absolutely preposterous. I mean, it was weird, and just I was like, whatever. And like I said, that goes back to they showed the painting, and I'm like, so the painting obviously then was explained when she showed up that she looks exactly the same, but it was all weird. I was like, I don't even know why this subplot's in here. All right, Ben goes back to Maggie's house again. The dog attacks him while he's investigating, and he's confronted by Peter. And so this makes me ask, why are you staying at the house, Peter? I mean, I know you have a thing with Michelle, but like a murder happened in that bedroom and you're staying in that bedroom. Creepy much?
Yeah. Well, they say criminals like to return to the scene of the crime.
Oh, okay. Little foreshadowing there.
He gets to live there.
I mean, I guess it's a sweet house, but I just wouldn't I would not be sleeping in that bedroom. I would be sleeping somewhere else. There's got to be another bedroom, right?
Yeah, but you're sane, John. You're a sane human being.
That's true. So Peter asks Ben if he's a suspect. They kind of go back and forth a little bit, and that leads us into our courtroom scene where Ben is examining Peter, and Maggie has stopped work on the restaurant. All right, and Ben theorizes that might be one of the motives for Peter wanting to kill Maggie. And then Ben asks about the dog. And the dog apparently doesn't bark at Peter or Maggie. And there was no dog barking during the 911 call, despite the dog being in the room. So therefore, this particular notion that Ben has is that clearly the dog knew who the murderer was because the dog did not bark at the murderer. And since the dog never barked at Peter, ergo, Peter is the murderer.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, what do you think about this whole hypothesis?
I mean, it's a pretty good one, I think, because you're right. Technically, she could have just told the dog to shut up, or maybe she put the dog in the closet. Who knows? But for the show, it works. It's better than some of the other hypotheses we've gotten.
Sure. Well, the case is dismissed, and Brian is free. He is reunited with Wendy. Our final scene is the Christmas party that is attended by all. Tyler, Michelle, Ben, I think Julie's there, Brian and Wendy, and lo and behold, guess who shows up? Judge Franklin. So everything is so nicely tied up like a bow on a Christmas present. All right, Jason, do you have any other notes or anything before we get into our closing statements?
I don't. Looks like you got everything.
All right, here we go then. It's time for our closing statements. This is the part of the podcast where Jason and I will rate this episode. We will rate it on a gavel system. 5 gavels for an awesome episode, 1 gavel for a lousy episode. We shall also justify our reasoning for this particular rating. Jason, go ahead first. Let us know what you thought about The Gift.
I liked The Gift. I thought it was a fun little episode. I like it even more than I know Bryan Cranston was in it. And I'm ashamed of myself for not recognizing that prior to John pointing it out to me.
But I'm also embarrassed for you, by the way, just as a side note. Go ahead.
It's a pretty solid episode. I'd give it a 3.8 out of 5.
Okay, I'm giving it 4 gavels because I really thought it was a very good episode too. I really liked the great acting. I mean, that young lady that played Wendy, which I know she went on to do some other stuff, including I think she was the star of Ladybugs, that soccer movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I think that's her as an adult. She plays the lead. I can't remember the character's name, but I think she did a great job with Ben. She did a great job with Bryan Cranston. I thought there was plenty of Tyler that I really enjoyed, such as the intimidation, breaking through the window, teaching a kid how to pick locks. I thought that was great. I felt the motive was okay as well. The only thing I didn't like, as we've already talked about, is the hokey stuff with Philip and his wife. I felt like that was not necessary. It was really kind of confusing and weird, and I just didn't dig it. But overall, solid episode. The Gift, it gets a 4 gavel rating from me. Jason, maybe we should have a Christmas party, and we should watch all of the Christmas episodes of Matlock. Maybe we'll write our own Christmas episode of Matlock.
Do they have Halloween episodes of Matlock?
That's a good question. I don't think so, because we're past Halloween and Thanksgiving. We didn't even have a Thanksgiving one. So,
oh yeah, they really just skipped all the major holidays.
They did, which was uncommon, because in the 80s, there tended to be those. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, with that, ladies and gentlemen, Jason, tell us, where can folks get in touch with us one more time?
Y'all can email us at benmattalk@gmail.com. That is benmattalk@gmail.com.
You can also find us on Facebook at Mattalk Podcast and on Twitter at Mattalk_podcast. Jason, you want to let them know about the Three Geeks podcast?
Yes, Three Geeks podcast, group of friends. We do a live show every Sunday that gets a little ridiculous, but me and Justin, we also interview people from the industry, cinematographers, actors, writers, directors, producers, and you can check that out also at 3geeks.ninja website, and anywhere that you find podcasts, type in 3 Geeks podcast.
All right. As for me, the PVD Cast is my personal podcasting project. You can find it at pvdcast.com or all of those major podcasting outlets. Got to be honest, real quickly, I'm very proud of this, and I'm going to brag a little bit if I can, Jason. This week's episode is a great one. Got the opportunity, myself and Tim Bysiegel, who was my co-host, we got a chance a couple weeks ago to interview Detroit Red Wings legend Darren McCarty, along with his pal Dom Reggio from Mess Bucket Comics. It's a great episode. It's a wild one. You were there, Jason. It's a wild episode, is it not?
Oh, dude, it's awesome. It's fun.
It is. You definitely want to check it out. But again, that's pvdcast.com or wherever you find podcasts. Just type in PVDcast and you are sure to find it. With that, then, Jason, if there's nothing else, let's get on out of here, shall we?
We shall.
And as they say in court, nothing further.
Following has been a joint production of the Three Geeks podcast and John Orlando Enterprises LLC. Copyright 2021.